Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to address this important summit. First, I'll start with my sincere gratitude to President Lula for his warm hospitality and exemplary leadership in hosting this climate summit and for his transformative initiative, TFFF. Mr. President, Suriname has the highest percentage of forest cover in the world. More than 90% of our land is covered with rainforest. And this forest absorbs about 12 million tons of CO2 every year. We are recognized as a high forest and low deforestation country. However, that recognition alone does not improve our economy, as I stated during the UN General Assembly in New York. As a state with a low-lying coast, where about 75% of our people live, we already experience the effects of sea level rise, but also in our interior, we have indigenous and tribal communities who also feel the effects of climate change. Flooding, biodiversity loss, and extreme weather events directly affect the livelihoods of vulnerable communities in our Caribbean region and undermine key economic sectors such as agriculture and tourism. The impact of climate-related weather events are immense. We have witnessed the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba. Our hearts go out to the affected nations and communities, and we call on the international community to provide rapid and sustained assistance. But beyond emergency relief and media attention, and after the cameras are gone, these affected countries face long-term setbacks to their development that will take years to overcome. Climate change is already here, and it's a pressing and ongoing challenge. Like many developing countries, Suriname confronts fiscal and debt pressures that constrain our capacity to invest in climate adaptation measures so necessary to protect our people. This is our paradox. We remove carbon from the atmosphere, yet up to today have received no compensation for these efforts, for this contribution, which undermines our ability to keep our forests standing. These forests, after all, are standing on vast natural mineral resources. After long, arduous negotiations, the international community under the Paris Agreement agreed to provide financial support to countries that preserve their forests. Under Article 5.2 of the agreement, rainforest countries have the right to report their carbon removals. Once these removals are officially recognized, they may convert it into internationally transferred mitigation outcomes, so-called ITMOs, tradable outcomes that provide access to resource-based climate finance. However, Suriname and other countries are still facing difficulties accessing this financial mechanism. We have already accredited 4.8 million ITMOs, but in 2024, under this Paris Agreement, we submitted our net zero forest reference emission level, and that, which includes our net removals, has not yet been recognized by the UNFCCC. These financing barriers must be removed with urgencies. We look forward to the prompt registration of our ITMOs by UNFCCC Secretariat without further delay. Suriname has recently once more approved and submitted nationally determined contributions, NDC3, reaffirming our commitment to the Paris Agreement. And while we're standing here, our forest absorbs CO2. Compensation is necessary. Our national strategy sets a course for sustainable prosperity, using income from our natural resources, including responsible managed oil resources, to diversify the economy, promote inclusive green growth, and preserve our forests. We therefore wholeheartedly recommend and support President Lula's visionary tropical forest finance facility, a concrete step toward equitable climate finance that recognizes the true value of standing forests and their global importance. We urge the international community to join this initiative. Mr. President, financing climate action is not charity. It is compensation for nature's services. It's a matter of global responsibility for humanity's survival. We call for predictable, long-term support for high forest, low deforestation countries, and recall the Paramaribo Joint Declaration on Climate Finance Mobilization adopted in February 2019. Excellencies, we as global leaders have gathered here inspired by a common cause to act. We must start by endorsing the Belém Declaration on combating environmental racism, and after endorsement, we must implement our commitments. Suriname is already doing its part. We expect the major emitters to do theirs. Thank you.